Hi guys, welcome to Using Your MelLin. Today, Melly and I have a very special guest with us. Her name is Tami Smith, and she is one of the board of directors on for Alberta Resistance. So, welcome, Tami.
Hi,
Welcome.
nice, nice to meet both of you. See both of you.
Yeah,
Nice
Nice
to
to be
see
on here.
you. So, can you introduce yourself a little bit, Tammy, and explain where for ABR, like what it is, what we do, that sort of thing?
Sure. So my name is Tami Smith, and I'm a former teacher in Alberta. Uh, I've always voted for a candidate more so than the party. So that's kind of my background. I've been retired since 2024. ABR was started in 2023 by our founder, Mark Tokar, who started just taking registrations and information on Twitter, X, whatever they want to call it today. And she knew then that the government did not have conservative values, that what the UCP was showing was nothing like what she had grown up with. And she saw recalls as a way to force the UCP out of office and
Mhm.
started a mission to educate Albertans about recalls. And she put together a group, and they're all, everybody that was in that group is no longer on the board. So it's us and a few other people, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I joined the board in spring summer of 2024 when I retired. And part of the reason I retired was to take and work on this because I also saw that this was not good for Albertans. And
Yeah.
so, right. So my
Yeah.
passion is research and education, and I started collecting headlines and what was happening in Alberta, and that kind of morphed into a newsletter and on our old website and information. And then we started a Substack. And so the rest is pretty much history.
wow, that's impressive. That's awesome. What made you start in the first, like paying attention to the political stuff?
Okay, so well, there's so many threads of what is happening in Alberta. Like you've just pull one, and there's a whole swack of other ones that come with it. So
Okay.
I watched what was happening in Alberta and how it echoed with what was going on south of the border in the US. And I read about the Free Alberta strategy, which was written by Rob Anderson and two other gentlemen. And it really kind of echoed what was the US Project 2025 that Donald Trump is using, right? And I
Mhm.
saw distinct similarities between them. I mean, ours is a mini kind of version, but
Mm.
it very much follows that same outline. And then I looked at the underfunding of education, the ripping up doctor contracts, underfunding healthcare, disrespect for professionals in Alberta, and the Keystone XL pipeline, where they went and spent $1.3 billion and wasted it from my
Right.
pension, right? Because they took over all of our pensions. Um, and I remember, so Jenny Yeremy, I knew her for a while.
She's
We had a
with the
conversation,
gravity well, right?
Gravity Well,
Oh,
and she also did the recall for Nicolaides.
Oh, that's
oh
right.
wow.
Yep.
And the really
Okay.
funny thing is, so the whole group, there's a bunch of women, there's men too, they call them the Nico gentlemen, Nico ladies gentlemen, but they have the Nico Nico dash ladies
Okay.
that were against him.
Love it.
So
Love
it's
it.
really cute, right? Yeah. So we talked about it, and I just said to her, look, we're the canary in the coal mine. What they're doing here in Alberta, because this was before Trump was elected, they're
Hmm.
trialing things here to use
Right.
in the US.
That's
And
terrifying.
right. And so, and we also had Stephen Harper, who's chairman of the IDU, right?
Okay.
Extreme right wing organization that is there to elect right-wing governments,
Okay.
which is the UCP, which is the US government right now. Orban was part of that orbit. India, although Modi's not as much involved with that anymore. Italy, like all of those more right-leaning kind of governments. And he ended up becoming the chairperson. I think it's a chairman. I'm not sure exactly what his role is, but he oversees AIMCO and
Oh
he's doing
wow.
it for free. So,
Nice.
yeah, all of those things kind of gelled, and I'm just like, you know what? This is not okay.
Right.
We've got to do something. And if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh, you know, I in plain language, because let's face it, we're blue collar. We're not all elites here in Alberta. I want you to tell me, like, this voter registration leak. So in plain language, what happened with the voter information situation and why should Albertans care?
Good question.
Hey. So there's been countless news stories that have come out about this, right? So David Parker, if you don't know who he was the person behind Take Back Alberta, which was instrumental in getting people to buy UCP memberships, the more right-wing separatist kind of thinking people, in order to take over the UCP party from Jason Kenney and get Danielle Smith elected. So, and he's not a nice guy. Like he's got over $100,000 in fines from Elections Alberta that he refuses to pay. Um,
Wow.
and he did a tour in the States with Tucker Carlson in 2024. And one of the things that he came back with was this voter 10X or 10X voter technology that he had seen Tucker Carlson use. And they used it to win some of the states' elections for Donald Trump, right? That were more
Mm-hmm.
blue leaning, but ended up voting more red because of
Yep.
that. And so there's also reports that this voter ID app is linked to the US ambassador to Canada, Pete Hugstra.
Hoekstra. Yep.
Hoekstra, yeah. And he says that he's not aware of this whole thing, but yet he knew the person that invented the 10X voter, and he also knew the stepfather of that person. And apparently, this 10X voter app has been demonstrated at the White House this year, possibly with Alberta residents' data on it. And
That's terrifying.
it is terrifying, right? And it's been leaked to over 600 people that they know of. But if every person, right, you're supposed to tag 10 people in your group.
Yeah.
Those 600 people tag 10 people, that's 6,000 people. If they've tagged 10 people, that's 60,000 people. There's no
That's
putting the genie back in the bottle with this. It's
No,
out there.
no. And,
that's
like all of our information, like for a government who prides itself on, being the little people,
yeah,
um, it sure wants to tell us what to do an awful lot.
that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And they've kind of compared it to being a phone book, but it's not
No.
because it includes your name, your address, your phone number, your email, and it also includes your electoral ID number.
That's
So
terrifying.
it's
And
absolutely terrifying because
That
it
is
tracks
so
you,
terrifying.
your whole voting history. So we can't
Wow.
have, right,
not
Melly?
only that, but I think, sorry, Tammy, I'm going to cut you off for a second, but there's so much more to that. Think about all of the security, like
There's so much
judges.
information now out there for anybody to just grab.
Well, it's not only that, Melly,
And
like judges' addresses, domestic
oh my God,
violence people's
Survivors.
addresses and phone numbers, and
terrifying.
it's all out there for everybody to
So couldn't
see.
they be charged if something happens to those people?
We don't,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Of course not, because they cover their tracks, right?
yeah.
Allegedly.
And they just need to type in your name to find that
That's
information.
so
Like in a
scary.
phone book, you have to know, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just crazy.
Well, and not only that, but with a phone book, you have the right to be unlisted.
Ask. Yeah, you get asked,
So,
do you want your phone number and name and address in the phone book? Whereas
right?
this is just, hey, by the way, sucks to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the
That's
voter thing, it really bothers me because of the fact that I think, like, I'm looking at it in the States and I see Georgia, he's gone in and took their voting rolls. Um, he did that with Oklahoma. He's done that, trying to do that with Michigan. There's so many states he's trying to get these voter rolls so that they can change it. I'm
jeez.
guessing. I don't know. Allegedly, but
Okay.
Allegedly.
gotta use that word a lot.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's terrible.
I think this is a very dangerous, dangerous territory, and I really honestly don't know why we don't have more people concerned about it.
Maybe they just don't know all of the information. That's my understanding because I know people out here, they don't know anything about anything of that.
Yeah.
We
See
haven't heard
that,
anything of it,
well,
Yeah.
that's part of the problem.
right?
Yeah. So I
So what else concerns you most personally about all this?
Well, I'm just going to back up for a second and just share one more little piece of this. So the really scary thing is the government, before this happened, changed the legislation with Bill 54 called the Election Statutes Amendment Act that
Yep.
tied the Elections Alberta people from investigating. They actually had a report that this was out there a month before they shut it down, but they couldn't
Wow.
do anything about it because it wasn't phrased in the correct way for them to be able to act on it. So
That's so ridiculous.
it tied the hands of Gordon McClure. Like the poor guy, I feel so bad for him. He
Oh, right?
started, he has started an information integrity unit, which is exciting because he started this when Bill 54 came out. So as soon as this happened and they were able to act, they got on it and were able to find out it was the Alberta Republican Party that had leaked this information.
And
And
they can't do anything about it though, hey?
oh, they're investigating it. And the
Good. Please
RCMP are
do.
investigating it. So they're
Good.
doing some investigations. But I mean, they're writing letters to people, you cease and desist, you're not able to use this information.
Yeah,
But
but the
you have to
But it's already out there.
go ahead.
sorry, Tammy. Sorry.
I know.
Right. That he's not listening. They're not ceasing and desisting. And if that was you, or if that was you, or if that was me, our butts would be in handcuffs, or like long
Yep.
time before now. So I actually heard he went to Texas.
Yeah, David Parker, that's what I
Hmm.
heard too.
Okay. That's not good.
They do have an extradition treaty with Canada, though the US does.
Yeah, but
So,
even if they have an extradition treaty, it doesn't mean that they're going to turn him over. He helped them.
yeah.
So same thing like with Hoekstra.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he's still our ambassador. They haven't kicked him out of Canada yet,
Oh,
which
I
is
that's
heard that the other
surprising.
day he was still in here. Like, somebody did, I think it was CBC did an interview where he was saying that he doesn't understand why Canadians are so mad.
like, yeah, all of our info is out there. And what else are you guys doing to us?
Right?
Trumpland is coming here. Like, what? No thanks.
Anyway,
Okay.
Tammy, what is the concern that we should really be worried about personally?
Well, I think really the biggest piece that we need to worry about is that our next election, that it won't be compromised. Like, how are they going to fix this and be able to protect our information and protect our votes so that Albertans can actually vote and know that they're voting? Because I think our voice, our vote is what everybody's after. They either want to shut us up and make it so we don't want to vote, or they want to convince us that we need to vote for separation or whatever it is that they're wanting, right? That's what behind all of those YouTube videos that have been showing up. That's behind this election breach. That's behind all of this stuff. And
Hmm.
they want to create a wedge so that Trump can get into Canada.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I agree with that right there. Like more than
completely.
what a lot of people probably think.
Yeah.
Um,
It's terrifying.
I don't know, but okay. So do you think the public is fully understands the seriousness of this?
No. No, I don't. I so and to be fair, right? Most people elect a government and they expect that government to look after them. We expect them to take and put people first to make sure that we have good health care, we have a good public education, right? Our disabled community, our seniors, there's a safety net if anything happens to us, WCP, all of that. That is what the government should be looking after. Roads, right? Housing, making sure there's affordable housing so we don't have homeless people on the streets.
I
Public
agree.
services.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's huge.
And
That is what their responsibility is.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they don't take that responsibility at all. They just,
No, they just turn around and yell at Ottawa like it's Ottawa's fault. That has nothing to do with Ottawa. There are issues that we have with Ottawa. Don't get me wrong, people. But we need to hold the people who are responsible the correct level of government. So for federal things, yes, Carney is responsible. We need to hold him responsible. But when it comes to our provincial day-to-day lives,
standing there
that
too.
that is our provincial government.
Yep.
So, I don't know how to tell people any more clear than that. When it comes to this type of stuff, because you're being robbed blind and then told, oh, it was them. They did it. It was them, past them.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, they're stuffing their pockets full of stuff, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Nice catch, Mel.
Right?
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
so go ahead, Molly. What was your next question, my girl?
All right. So, have you been satisfied with the response from the government officials so far? Why
Uh,
and why not?
okay, so I know that they have the RCMP are looking into it, and I'm assuming CSIS is, although I haven't officially heard that. And Elections Alberta is looking into it. But like from the provincial government, we're getting crickets. It's like it never even happened,
I'm not
right?
shocked.
And I'm not satisfied, right? There's no condemnation of the separatist movement at all with this. Nothing against David Parker coming out, trying to distance herself from that whole thing. In fact, right, it's like it's on ignore. And there's a letter today, apparently Jeffrey Rath, who's the lawyer involved with the separatist movement,
Oh,
who's got
yes.
sanctions against him. He's been sanctioned by the Law Society. Like he is quite the character, demanding that Smith step down and resign. These guys are becoming more emboldened every day. And the fact that she's putting a referendum question about holding a binding referendum on a referendum ballot this fall is like, what the hell?
What is
Right? It's
happening?
to create more confusion and divisiveness in Alberta. And all of this is same time they're underfunding all of these public programs that we count on them to take in funds so that we have good services and we have educated population
I
to learn
know.
about this stuff.
And
Go
you know
ahead.
what I want to know, Tammy? You want to know what I want to know?
What do
I
you
know
want to
you've
know?
heard me ask this before, but I'm going to ask this right here, right now. If conservative economics is considered the gold standard, Alberta, why are we in Alberta so broke? Why are we struggling with our public
Right?
services?
We're supposed to be so
Because,
rich.
yeah, apparently we're
Well,
so
sorry, you guys
rich.
are supposed to be so rich.
Where's the money?
Follow it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Where is the money, Miss Smith? All right, I will go to the next one. What questions do you still feel haven't been answered regarding this voter identification stuff?
Well, I think the one big question that we need to really find an answer to is what are they going to do to ensure election integrity? Like that's the big one. And
Definitely.
what consequences are they going to put on David Parker and that whole group for doing this? Like, are there charges going to be laid?
Are they actually going to be held accountable for it?
Right?
Or is it
I
going
don't
to be
know.
brushed under the rug?
I mean, if it has anything to do with anything else besides the RCMP, I'm thinking that we are in trouble
Yeah.
because all she has centralized almost all control into the executive council. So I don't know. Um, do you think that this has affected public trust in Alberta politics or institutions? What do you think, Tammy?
Well, I think if people are paying attention, the people that are paying attention, it has. Absolutely. So I think most people trust politicians to look after the programs and keep the province on an even keel. And we just assume that the UCP are doing this. Instead, in Alberta, every week, right, we're getting a new scandal or a new outrage that we should take and be outraged about,
Absolutely.
or a curveball thrown at us, like,
We're
oh,
like
geez,
dodging all these
right, Dodge.
bullets. Huh?
Next.
Okay, I got that one. Oh, I got
But it's
that.
flooding the zone, right? It's using the same strategy that Steve Bannon used in the US.
Yeah,
It's throwing so much
exact.
at us, we don't know what to pay attention to or what's important.
You're
That
right.
makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes
you're right.
sense. That makes total
Yeah.
sense. So, what has been your experience, like speaking publicly? Obviously, I don't do this, about this situation and support the pushback, the support. What kind of is there? Have you had harassment or anything like that?
I have to say not really. I've gotten messages and stuff from people that are calling, they call the NDP the dippers and they assume everything is left wing, even though we're nonpartisan. Like we're a third party advertiser in Alberta, right? And we don't criticize parties. What we do is criticize policy.
That's
And
right.
UCP policy is not okay for Albertans. And that's why it looks like we're targeting them or taking and pushing back against them and not so much the NDP. And one of my philosophies is that you're there to take and support people.
Yeah,
The
That's right.
NDP has supported people in the 4 years that they were in power, and every time they're in the legislature, they're putting forth legislation that will support people. For example, one of the things that they did is we had this when that Elections Alberta leak happened, they wanted to take and put in legislation that would protect Albertans and would give them a security level between them and having their data used inappropriately.
love that.
The UCP threw it out. So the
Yeah, just
NDP just they voted against it.
just like the caps on everything too.
Yeah.
They threw that all out. So now everybody's completely seen the skyrocket effect of everything that they
Yeah.
threw out. But they're blaming NDP and whoever else.
Ottawa.
Exactly. Ottawa.
Oh, definitely Ottawa, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
Ottawa is their scapegoat.
Yeah.
I
gross.
so Tammy, what do you think, or sorry, why do you think Alberta feels so divided politically right now?
Well, because we've had a government and a social media milieu that has kind of just kept blaming and targeting marginal groups and pitting Albertan against Albertan, right? They've done the trans community, the 2S plus LGBTQIA community, the disabled community, the poor people, homeless people, and everybody's to blame for the problems in Alberta. But these
But
people
them.
have no power.
Yeah, everybody's to blame but themselves.
Exactly. They
It's
can't take
so much
accountability.
easier. Well, it's so much easier to cast blame than it is to take responsibility. Danielle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, and the other piece, I want to add just one other piece to this,
Hmm.
is a lot of the white Christian nationalist communities, right, are have a definite way of viewing the world that
Oh,
Hmm.
anybody that
yes.
doesn't fit what they will like are an outsider. So
Yeah,
they're constantly pushing against that. And that's who most of the separatists are. And they've done a poll where most of the separatists who support separation make over $150,000 a year, but can't pay their bills.
I isn't that
yeah,
ridiculous?
I
that's
just
insane.
baffles
I'm not
me.
shocked though.
Blows my mind.
My
Well, okay,
goodness.
so what do you want ordinary Albertans to pay attention to moving forward?
Well, I think ordinary Albertans need to start looking and saying, is my healthcare improved? Is public education, is my child going to a good school? Are they getting what they need? Are people being looked after? And if life is not good in the richest province in Canada, then someone is not doing their job.
I
Right?
agree. I agree
That
completely.
is that has been my entire focus dealing with LinkedIn and dealing with all of this stuff with her. Oh,
Yeah.
I
so
agree.
annoying.
So, last question, I have to throw it out there. Still gives you hope in this crazy world in Alberta?
So there is. Albertans are gathering together. The Alberta Federation of Labor is spearheading the Fight Back Now campaign in Alberta. There are 13 venues across Alberta that will be holding rallies on Friday, May 29th. So people have a chance to get active, and they're going to be continuing these actions right, over the next little while, people are recognizing that there's no one coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. And if you look at some of the recall groups, they're morphing from being recall campaigns into being information sharing groups. They've gotten political.
Good.
We have educated people that are getting political and are excited about pushing back against the government. And
Good.
ABR is joining in with several groups to work together to bring awareness to communities. We have the power of the vote, our voice, and there's groups and movements out there that are trying to stop us. And the more people we can bring on board, we can create a better Alberta for everybody. So our motto at ABR that we just recently changed from Recall for Change is Stronger Together. And I like to break it down to together. If we were break it down, it gets to get her,
I love it. Yes, I love
right?
I
that.
love
I
that.
love that.
I love that. I love
Right
that.
on. Thank you for coming. That was
Oh,
awesome.
you're so welcome.
Well,
It was
Tammy,
my
you know what?
pleasure.
You've been so amazing, and I personally know what you do. So I'm very thankful for what you do. And I think Albertans in general, we really need to stop looking at left and right and actually pay attention to our government and what they are doing. Because they've hoodwinked so many people into believing that you and me and Melly, we're all just bad, horrible people.
Oh, of
Right.
course. Talking trash, I guess, right? We're the woke ones. Like that's a
Oh,
bad thing,
yeah.
I always say it's a compliment.
Oh, it is
right?
100% it is a compliment.
We're using our eyes and ears.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Well, we are just about done for the day. But I did want to say thank you again, Tammy, for coming and chatting with us and telling us a lot about ABR. You guys mark your calendar for this Friday coming up, May 29th. There are different times for different places, so you do need to go into the fightbackalberta.ca.
Fightbacknow.ca.
There, fightbacknow.ca.
Yeah.
And
And
look up your times and where your closest rally will be. We really need to get out, people, and show our support that we're kind of done with this.
yeah.
Like
And
grievance politics needs to be go. I just want competence.
I agree.
Yeah.
And everybody
So
needs to be out. Everybody. I'm calling all of you people. Go vote because I
everybody.
can't get out there.
Get out your
If I
Canada
would,
flags.
yeah, go do it.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
just
guys.
This
a
Oh,
reminder
sir.
before you go, Linda, I just want to say if you're interested in what's going on in Alberta and you don't have time to do the news every day, we put together a Substack that's available Sunday mornings, and it's on Substack, it's AV Resistance. Check it out and let us know what you think. Be wonderful to see all of you.
Yeah.
will be
Nice
amazing.
meeting
Thank
you as
you.
well.
All right,
Nice seeing you
guys.
again, Linda.
See you. Thanks,
Okay.
guys. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Friday or next Thursday.
See you later. Have a great
Bye.
day.